We have been programmed into thinking that we cannot do for ourselves. We have been programmed into thinking that we are not capable of living in the beachfront properties. We are not capable of owning our own hotels. We are not capable of owning and operating the businesses. We are always waiting for someone to come and do for us. So basically, we have the mind capacity, and being as we're going into this independent status, country status, we must now develop a different state of mind. So I'm urging the younger generation to educate themselves politically, economically, for the benefit of the Swaligan people.
Youths, the next
youth,
generation,
also,
yeah.
Us black people in general, because the island is predominantly black, African descent. You understand? So the whole culture, history, we are not Dutch, we are not French, we are Swaligans. Our roots is Africa. You of us. So by you teaching us, we stand a better chance of becoming a king and queen in Africa than us becoming a king and queen in Holland. And we all know you cannot become a king and queen in Holland. You understand? Especially of the color of your skin. You know what I mean? We have to really critically analyze what is really going on. Holland is not our friend. France is not our friend. Holland and France have been scheming all these plans. They are the big instigators in all of this. We feel it's the politicians, but they have been giving the politicians the okay to make all these things happen.
But so it sets, you know, I mean, if ones and ones coming up in these things, right, is like the knowledge that you bring into the people. We go to the younger generation with this vibes, you know, that is Holland and France who controlling, and the people going, those who don't know it and those who ain't really know it, they are already set back and comfortable in the position. So now if you have to, you know, reason with them on a level, you know, we have to tell them.
Well, basically, this is why I full advocate education. We have to get in the schools. You have to get these younger generations. So as the young generation grow up with this mindset, they will automatically, this older generation will have to just fade away. We have to get rid of this old generation slave master brainwash, Uncle Tom, house Negroes mentality. You know what I mean? As long as you start introducing this education of self, you know what I mean? Swaligans relating to who they are, their culture, their way of life, and relating to Africa and other Caribbean islands, you will see a real drastic change, because then you're now indoctrinating their minds with an identity of who they are. So they will be proud.
That
you know what I mean?
I will tell you that, because if you look around Swaliga, it is not
they don't know who they are.
But you don't see much cultural vibes going on for the people them to recognize.
Because they don't know who they are. It has to start from young. It has to be incorporated in the schools. If I'm going to send my child almost 5 hours every day for 5 days for almost a decade, all of his life, that must be in the school curriculum. You understand? We never got that. So here we are, a people with no sort of sense of self, no sort of sense of our own identity or culture or heritage. Now we end up getting anything, you know what I mean? If you don't stand for something, you would fall for anything.
True.
Look at us now. We barely sell out everything right now. You know what I mean? And that is us. We have to realize that is us because of the way we were taught.
Yes, sir.
You understand? Look at the salt pond. It's a shame to me. You know what I mean? I look back at pictures of the salt pond, and today it's almost covered. You know what I mean? We don't have no sort of trying to preserve anything.
Yes, sir.
We just mentally just gone, bugged out. Because of the teachings we have been getting all through the years. We as a Swaligan people have been so dumbed down, we are not educated properly.
Don't tell the people and
You see, you see, and I'm not here to offend no one. You understand? I am just here to tell you this is how I seen it. Because this is the reality as you can see it today. We have been dumbed down. We always waiting for somebody to come and do for us. You understand? We need an education that will show Swaligan his identity and his self. Once he knows who he is, he will know what he has to do in order to maintain his way of life, his culture, his heritage, and keep his land. You understand? Once you know who you are and where you have been. There's not, right now, what Swaligan owns a hotel? Can you envision a Swaliga where we owning our own hotels? Envision that we owning all the business in town? Envisioning we Swaligans living in the beachfront properties and stop living in the ghettos? You understand? We have been dumbed down. We have to stop thinking that we are not capable of living in these places and doing these great things.
Truth.
You understand? I have been, as a young man, 37 square miles. I bus out to New York, doing all sorts of things, venturing off, trying to make t-shirts, doing something for myself. So I am encouraging the young generation, as well as my generation and the old generation, to start critically analyzing our conditions, and not only analyzing it, but taking some serious actions. As this whole political part, we should hold them accountable as from now on. Pressure them into changing. Not only pressure them, but we must now change.
True.
Change the way we think and view things, and stop looking through this situation through the slave master's eye, that how we have been looking through it all these years. These people don't love you. These are the people who slave you for 400 years. You work for free for all them years. You don't owe Holland a damn thing, and you don't owe France nothing. You understand? They owe you for all this political oppression, this economic exploitation, and social degradation that we have been facing for years. Swaligan people, it's time for you to think through your own consciousness.
Yes, my brothers and sisters, you're hearing my brother Ras, because as a Swaligan, you're going foreign to study and continue your endeavors, and now you return, and it's kind of hard to see. I understand what you're saying. You're walking front street, back street is not your Swaligan people.
I'm not here to blame anyone, to say personally. I'm not here to blame Indians or Chinese or other people, because they're doing for themselves, to provide for their families. What are you doing for yourself? You understand? This is basically what I am trying to get into the psyche of the minds of the Swaligan people. You understand? We must look at other nations and take example, other Caribbean islands such as Jamaica, pushing themselves forward to be great in this world. They're known in this world for doing a lot of great things. Marcus Garvey, Hussein Bolt, and all these other great musicians and such.
We have a few great men here that are doing the thing, who've been doing it long before. And I, like the brother Jose Lake was on my program the other time, and he in the struggle same way. So like I certain things that he said, Carlos Carlin, and agreed that he been saying it from long then, and they never listen, and now they seeing what he said come to pass, and this is what you could be bringing still for I generation.
Right. But basically, I'm not here to really complain. I'm here to, as I say, educate, uplift, and inspire the generations for them to start doing things now. No more sit back, lay back philosophy is a do for self philosophy. When you start to develop a do for self philosophy, your behavior pattern begins to change. And when your behavior pattern begins to change, your whole attitude and your mindset begins to change. And when all this begins to change, you start taking the necessary action that is needed for you to get where you have to go.
True.
We as a nation have to now focus on the schools, the younger generation who are coming up, so that they can start now providing for themselves. This is the reality that we are facing.
True.
If we don't change the curriculum in the schools, I am sorry, you're going to be facing this same problem over and over.
Change or add? Because
it must change. It must change, because we've been adding a long time to what I'm saying. Oh, everybody's saying education. But what is it they want to educate these youths about? I am trying to say educate them on a more historical, cultural type, knowing that a sense of self,
as a black person.
As a black nation, because our roots is Africa.
Whether you believe it or not.
Whether you like it or not, that is the reality of how it is. You understand? We are still an extension of an African nation. We are Swaligans. And we must stand proud and embrace our African heritage as black people and stop trying to reject it. The more we reject it, the more we fall into this poverty and maliceness. You understand? So and the more we embrace it, the more you will see a great change in society itself.
One who know nothing about the African history and the African roots, what would you say to inspire them? Because even to your parents, some parents, you tell them, yeah, we Africans, and they wouldn't agree Africans. So if my parents ain't telling me that they're African, how am I going to tell a younger generation who into hip-hop and he's a gangster, that he's an African? Know yourself to know where you're going in this life.
Well, that is basically the battle that we are facing today. Colonialism has totally destroyed, and there is a gap between generations. You understand? This is why the knowledge of self is very important. There's a big gap where we don't know who we are, and I know in this time it's very difficult now to go and lecture to kids about Africa and all these things, because really they don't want to hear none of that.
True.
They just want to put money in their pocket.
Right.
And
it's not relating to them.
It's not relating to
like,
them.
what are you saying? It sounds true, but I can't relate to that.
Right. We have been cut off of that historical past. This is why it is important for us to implement it in the school from young. Right now, as we, the conscious community, we have been too laid back for a long time right now. I have felt so. We have been laid back. We are really, the conscious community are basically there is some doing things, but there's a lot doing nothing. So the conscious community must come out full strong, going into the schools, all these schools, and trying to reason with the teachers in the schools, trying to tell them about, historical. It's best if the kids learn, historical, their culture, their heritage, and all these things, where they come from, you know what I mean? And show them how vital, just as I am reasoning here with you on this radio program today, you have to go to these ones and reason with them on these levels, because through reasoning, minds change. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So, and these people who are teaching in the schools, who are, as I say, in parliament and all these things, are our brothers, sisters, neighbors, friends, people who we live amongst. So it is not hard for us to go and reason with them and try to create some sort of program or curriculum that helps the youths learn about who they are.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? So they can start building a bridge between that gap, so that we can be able to see the link. You know what I mean? And in time, the older slave master generation, as they pass on, the newer generation is going to take form with a stronger mindset. It's still not too late, Swaligans. It's not too late. We are still here. And I'm here to tell you we are here. So continue to do for self.
Yes, I'm my brethren and sisters. You're listening to Heights of Creation, the positive vibration uplifting the black nation. My brother Ras Kingson in the studio with I. A Swaligan living in New York, but seeing what's going on, election coming on, and the condition of I Swaligan people here on the land, he just say miraculous. I need to talk to my people them. My people them need to open their eyes and they need to elevate their minds. So this is what Heights of Creation is all about. And to the people, Peter Tosh, we telling you to fight on.
Come on, make us see.
Saying blessed good afternoon to Empress Ima down at African Royalty. Fully tuning in. Mother Nature, you don't call me already. Give thanks for your strength, Mama. Yes, my brethren and sisters, we're reasoning with Ras Kingson, a Swaligan that hurting with the situation we is as a young St. Martiners. What we going through here. And my brother, I take it that how you feel exactly about St. Martin going country?